Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. I hope everybody is having a good day today. So we're back again with another episode of KT time, and last week was quite eventful, if I might say so myself, and we do have a whole bunch of things to talk about. Now unfortunately, like here's a fair warning, some of those things are not exactly the most great and positive, if we're honest. So there is going to be a bit of moaning included, but we're going to try to keep it to minimum. There are a couple of exciting things on the horizon as well that we definitely do need to keep in mind. Right, so we have a lot of things to discuss, and we do not want to stretch out KT time. As always, just a quick reminder that during KT time, all chat is read, but we do not actively reply to every message. This is not exactly the right stream to ask rank up advice and things like that for. If there is a comment that offers a meaningful addition to the conversation that I am having with Mandalorian, we will add it in and all that good stuff. And again, we do read what you guys say, but it is much more of a podcast type of format where we discuss the ongoing events in the game, the issues, the good things, the things that we're looking forward to, so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's say hello to my amazing co-host Mandalorian, and let's get started.
Hey, thank you for that. That was a very kind introduction. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing fine today.
Of course we are. First point that wasn't planned that I just wanted to quickly tuck on there. Apparently there's like a new fighting stage announced, which is kind of cool. Finally we get some new background
Oh,
screen
yeah.
to fight in. It's going to be like the danger room. So,
Yeah. I was going to bring that
something.
up at the end anyway, but yes, it looks like it'll be good. I think that I think this year, between the next 12 months, I think we'll see a couple of new stages
Yeah, me
added.
too.
I figure they'll probably add 2 to 3, just because the last time they added a stage was back when Thor Ragnarok came out, and that was like 2017, so it's been 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
For sure. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure. Right, so the first thing that we obviously need to discuss is arguably one of the most controversial things happening in the game recently, and it's also kind of entertaining that people are that passionate about it, because
True.
ultimately we're talking about 1 week of rewards from Alliance Quest, but also Alliance Quest being the most impactful game mode currently, and effectively the whole reason why alliances are important right now, because the rewards of Alliance Quest are significantly higher than anything else in the game in terms of Alliance. And, well, let's just say there have been mixed emotions. So I'm going to do a quick
Yeah.
intro on this and a kind of debrief on situation, and then we're going to check out what Mando thinks about it, what I think about it,
Sure.
and then we're going to add some final closing comments. Right, so the whole situation was that Kabam made some sort of huge kerfuffle launching Alliance Quest Season 8.5, which is the reason for the downtime. As it was happening during the weekend, they were basically unable to sort it out efficiently. Basically, Alliance Quest wasn't working, then came on, then it was only lasting 30 minutes, and then it was meant to come back in 2 hours, and we getting 30-minute timers instead of 30-minute timers. We got 30-minute total duration. It was basically a shit show. So they threw in a towel, said the Alliance Quest is not going to happen this week. We're going to return to Alliance Quest starting today. Today is the first day of Season 8.5 really actually happening. Glory Store just reset, by the way. And finally, we can actually play Alliance Quest. But that obviously meant that we are, in fact, missing out all of the rewards that we could have potentially earned. Talking map crystals, talking glory, talking TFI basics, to alphas, everything basically. And here's the compensation part, right? So, because nobody technically did anything for this alliance war, they kind of went in their approach where nobody put in any work, so nobody technically should be entitled to any like real significant amount of compensation. And as soon as I said that the compensation package is going to be, let's say, global and all encompassing, I knew we're up for brewing storm. Because what you see in front of you right now in the background of my screen is what every single player who is in Alliance received, regardless of your prestige, regardless of your progression level, regardless of your alliance, anything. Every single player in Alliance basically received this package. And the package contains some, let's say, medium level stuff at best. for top tier players and amazing amount of stuff for the newer players. So that immediately has divided player base into actually like 3 groups at large. Now there are obviously low tier players who absolutely love everything that they have received. There are medium tier players who are kind of indifferent because it's about what they earned, and there are also some of the higher tier players who are like, fine, I'll take the loss in resources because it was worth the week off. I'm not entirely happy, but I'm not too fast either. And there is their group who are very, very angry. I actually did have a poll about that as well, and we can see that compensation is worth the week off is kind of like the most popular opinion among my viewers. 4K votes in that poll in total, almost half of it are kind of like saying worth the week off. But at the same time, we do have 1/5, 21% who are, well, not pleased at all in any capacity. And that is quite the thing here, because there are a lot of arguments sewed in there. We technically didn't do alliance quest, therefore technically we're not entitled to anything. And let's call this free stuff that we got complimentary, which of course technically is right. However, our inability to earn those rewards were not fault of ours. It was fault of the company for not providing the content that they're meant to provide. So people feel like, I don't care, it was your mistake, I need my resources. On a personal note, my alliance largely feels that Kabam basically robbed 25% tier 5 CC from them, and that is a large amount. So Mando, what are your thoughts?
First, let me say I could see it from both ways. However, my thoughts is I agree with that. I think there was, I think that the higher alliances, especially, and even though I don't get the tier 5 CC just from being the alliance quest rank, I still get it from honor rewards and such. I think that they screwed over probably the people that put in the most time, effort, and most people that put in the most money into the game. I think they kind of screwed those people over. At the same time, I did like not having to deal with Alliance Quest, and then when Lion season being over, just it was so nice to have like a week off. It was really nice, and to get at least something for it. Um, I don't think I think the rewards were lazy. I think that they were done in a way to make the majority of the player base that doesn't do the difficult things make them happy because they get more, or at least pretty much equal to what they're used to getting, whereas the people that are hardcore and really actually do strive and are in-game players in this game got really screwed over. So overall, if I was to give this a score out of 100, I would say they got a 60 from me. It was not a passing grade by any means on that aspect, but it was good for some majority, but not just because it's good for the majority doesn't make it the
Right.
best thing for everyone else. So, yeah, it was lazy. And that's kind of the theme. What we're seeing from Kabam, unfortunately, is laziness lately.
Yeah, I wanted to say that laziness aspect is definitely going to be brought up later on in the podcast as well, and that is like my biggest issue,
Yeah.
because it really wouldn't be hard to actually offer different packages. That was the entire point of having these progression levels, so they could target offers and also compensation packs and things like this better according to the player's current level. And I don't think it is good or satisfactory solution just to use this one size fits all approach, because the amount of resources that alliances and people missed out on is significantly different, right? Otherwise, what's the point in
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to earn an alliance quest? So
Yeah. And this is no fault of anyone. No player was
yeah,
fault here. This is Kabam. And previously, I just want to mention real quick, I know you're about to continue, but when this happened previously, they just delayed it one day and said you're going to have one day less break than last time, which would have been fine. But obviously, it was something more than could be done on a weekend when this seems to always
yeah, and
happen.
I think it's probably because it happened on weekend and they didn't have like any, like, honestly right now
Yeah.
Kabam seems just so understaffed. I think
Yeah.
like
I feel that way
combine the
too.
laziness of content and these compensation packages and the engagement with community in combination
Hmm.
with all of these very, very simple errors, like variant 7 are coming out, they mixed up classes of chapter 1 and chapter 2 and the announcement, the Nova type and prestige. There are more and more things like that that like creep in that are very simple elementary mistakes where you can see that either person behind it is rushed or just doesn't care
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
And
That's exactly what I
it,
feel.
it kind of feels like the same with this compensation as well. Either person is overworked and they didn't have anybody like physically available to actually work out what each progression level should be, or so on, or they just didn't care. It's one of the two. Either there was no ability to make it better or no will to make it better and more accurate. Because if a solution to a problem still pisses off, let's say, a fifth of a player base, it clearly is not a good solution. You can't call it success, right? Because it is true that no matter how Kabam would have approached this, there would be unhappy people. Let's say even if they approach this problem with the solution that majority of us expected from them, and that is to give every player the rewards they earned week prior to that. There would still be a percentage of player base which would not be satisfied with it, and those would be the people that took the previous week off and earned less or spent it without an alliance. Like, there would be some people that feel done wrongly and unjustly because of individual circumstances, but that would amount for a couple of percent of people. Like,
that
people
would
who
be
are,
a lot less than what it affected.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
time.
But right now, this unanimously, effectively pissed off and frustrated pretty much everybody that actually cares for this game and spends that on this game the most. So that's technically the one group of players that Kabam should, by the basic definition, try to pander to, because they are the ones that largely pay the bills and keep the lights on. If there's again, I'm not saying that Whale's opinion and stuff like that should always be the most important. Kabam clearly doesn't care about that by not releasing content for 2 years for endgame players and things like that. But in this case, like with the Alliance Quest, it's very surprising that out of every single group of players, the one that they decide to kind of annoy and piss off is the one that gives them the most amount of money. And this again, yet again, every time Kabam approaches some issue, they manage to piss off a lot of people to a point where more and more people leave the game. The game is doing well in terms of numbers, but the endgame situation is currently absolutely horrific. Large, significant portion of most interested and dedicated players who left the game are thinking of leaving or are taking a pause. And it's things like this.
I kind of feel like, I was gonna say, I kind of feel like this may have pushed more people to leave the game now.
Yeah, or just taking it easy. And every other time Kabam does something like this, I just hear more people. I used to spend, I don't know, $500 a month. I went down to $50 a month, and playing in Retirement Alliance, probably gonna leave it soon, and things like that. Because again, I'm not trying to suggest that whales should always be pandered to, but by definition, just purely from business standpoint, even from my channel standpoint, right? Somebody supports my channel actively, I will be more wary to interact with that person more, to make sure they feel more welcome, even at subconscious level, even if I'm not giving them specialized privilege treatment. Just the fact that I do appreciate and recognize the support that some people have either for my channel, or in Kabam's case, it should be what they have for their game. Even on subconscious level, you're kind of drawn towards trying to please those people more, because you have positive associations with that. Those are people that make you feel good, that appreciate you more, whatever, and naturally you try to treat them good. But Kabam has quite recently, in the last quite a while, to be honest, just decided not to care, which is surprising.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So that is,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a tricky situation, obviously, because you can't base your entire business strategy pandering the few. I get that, but again, would it have been too much of an effort to have 3, 4, 5 compensation packs based on prestige or progression level, at the very least? Not a perfect solution, but something.
Right.
I don't know. It again, it's just a lazy approach.
Yeah, laziness is unfortunately a theme we're about to start seeing.
Yeah. Well, speaking of lazy, let's talk about Variant 7. And this, again, was a very, very controversial opinion, I suppose you can say. It was quite
Yeah.
controversial video, and obviously there are people who like and love Variant 7. That's perfectly fine. That is good stuff. Variant 7 has several cool aspects to it. Whenever you give any champion extra damage, people will like it to a degree, at least some people, right? So,
Yeah.
as far as the content itself goes, it's not too bad. Like, it wasn't like superbly annoying. It didn't take ages. As a content, it's not excellent. I don't think there weren't many like cool interactions and stuff like that, but it wasn't a bad piece of content. But there are problems with it. What do you think about Variant 7? You have explored it, right? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I'm 100%. Yeah, I'm done with it. So I think I kind of got to start off by saying when I first started hearing about the gates where they're going to only have certain classes allowed, I was worried it was going to be another Variant 1 where a lot of people the majority, I mean, granted, it's changed. The opinion of mine is it's okay now. It used to be one of the worst things I hated in the world. Now, with my developed roster more and the way I know more of the game, I think it's an okay piece of content. I don't think it's one of the greatest variants by any means. I was worried it was going to go in that aspect.
Yeah, it is the least
When
favorite variant since Variant 1 for many, though.
yes, and I agree with that, and it's warranted. And here's the reason why. So, for initial completion, it wasn't as bad as Variant 1. That's what I'll say. In fact, when you were going through it at the beginning and I was watching it before I did it, I said, oh, this isn't as bad as Variant 1. Like I thought, okay, that's good. But after going into exploring, there were lanes they did where not only made it where you only had to use one of the two classes you were allowed to use, but you got to remember you're only allowed to use heroes too, so that stripped it down. So you had at some point, like even the last chapter 3-2, there was a path that literally only like 5 champions could do because they had to be a Hulk and
4.
they had to be poison immune. Oh, they're
I
4.
checked it.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. Because Red Hulk is
Technically, there are 4 science champions that are poison immune, which are 4 Hulks.
That's right.
And
there's only 4 because
I
forgot Red Hulk isn't he's a villain. I forgot about that. So yeah, there's only 4. So you had, She-Hulk, Gladiator Hulk, OG Hulk, and Immortal Hulk.
Well,
and that was it.
Well, you can use Cosmic Champions, but then you have 50% damage reduction. Or you can use Quake, and you can try and work around Poison, or you can use Human Torch to nuke down Mephisto. So there are a couple of options, but the design idea itself, that there are only 4 champions that technically fit the idea behind the design of the path, is just absurdly stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was basically, you came down to either you either take damage because you don't have the proper champions ranked, or you don't have them, or you have to do more damage with a longer fight because you don't have the right class, but you can counter the node with a poison and such, So it was just also, and in regards to the nodes, like no new nodes, which we normally see some fun and interacting nodes, and I felt like all the beneficial nodes for the champions that you bring, for the most part, I mean, besides some kind of interesting things that happen because of like ability accuracy and stuff, and it was lazy. It's a very lazy piece of content. It's definitely worse in some ways than Variant 1, but better in other ways, maybe because it's not as long as Variant 1, but I think that they could have done so much better if they literally put a little more effort, if they put any effort, in my opinion, into it, because yeah, you should be, and I hated hearing this too, people saying you just shouldn't do it, it's not worth it, blah blah blah. Well, for me, it was not hard by any means. I did use a couple items just because I had some in overflow, and I was like, I don't care. But it's definitely worth it for the time you put in and the rewards given. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of crappy. Like, this variant is definitely. I hope this isn't a sign of what variants are going to become now, because it shined how bad a variant can be if they still want to make one like that. But I did finish it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did explore it as well within the first 24 hours, and this is the path that's in question, by the way. And by the way, that even Smash Bash node is actually, like, worse for the attacker, because 90% of the time the defender is benefiting from it. Anyways, but it's kind of like I described before, and especially with this path, the design philosophy, where out of 200 champions, or nearly 200 champions, you end up with 4, and in the video I illustrated it with a sheet of paper where basically you fold it first time to weed out. I can do it like again, I suppose.
Yeah, sure,
very
sure.
quickly. Basically, if this is the entire champion pool that you're meant to use, so you fold it once to weed out all the champions that are not heroes, you're still obviously left with quite a lot of champions. Then separating it in classes, again, you lose basically 66% of the champions that you could have potentially used there. And then, especially if the path makes you use one class only, you're kind of like left with a short strip. But then remember, you need some specific abilities, and you end up with like literally 4 champion, like tiny little cube there in this hunt path and some other path. So I think they went far too deep. You see, every variant needs an identity, and it's almost as if they couldn't figure out what identity they want to give this variant, and they just kind of mixed-mashed everything into a shitty Caesar salad. Because you could have easily went with hero aspect to it, right?
Right.
And obviously there's a lot of heroes. Okay, you wanted to go a bit deeper. Fine, keep it to heroes, and you can use only these 2 classes. That still is fine. But the moment you go any more specific than that is already crazy. So in my opinion, to be honest,
Yeah.
they should have probably uh, skipped the hero requirement
Yeah.
or skip the class requirement and then go and do whatever they want. But yeah, I think this is a variant that seems to be put together in like an afternoon by an intern, just like with a pair of scissors, some glue, and duct tape, cutting off pieces of 5.3 and every single previous variant. We literally had the chapter systems from variant 1. There is quite literally several paths and definitely one carbon cutout copy from the extra large variant, which is variant 2. We have the exact global nodes as path identity nodes from variant 3, where tech champions have their debuff duration increased and that stuff, which is spit out from variant 3. Variant 4, I don't even remember it really having any like new nodes, so I'm gonna go with okay,
Yeah.
variant 4 can be left out. But then we have like all of these other aspects from the previous variants, and then we have copy paste boss fight from variant 5, I believe, where is Venom boss.
Venom
And
boss, yeah.
and yeah, I didn't realize that first, but the more I was doing it, the less entertained I was, because I started to realize what they have done. And let's say if this was my first, and here's the reason why I think a lot of people kind of like don't notice it or don't mind it, is because they either haven't done every variant 100%, or they might have started playing more recently and things like that, and they might not understand that literally this is the first variant out of every single variant that does not introduce any new aspects, elements, nodes, interactions. This is the very,
Yeah.
very, very first variant that just
Right.
reuses old aspects and old nodes. So again, that is a clear indication that they are either not caring anymore, or
Yeah.
they don't have the staff to properly make the content.
Right. It's one of the two. I just think they're really spread very thin, and it's beginning to show more and more with lack of communication, the problems they're having, the variant they just put out. It's like they're still trying to move forward, but it looks like they have like half the staff,
Yeah, I
or
can fully
I don't know
imagine
what
poor
it
person
is.
working in Kabam just like getting in morning with like a 6 pack of Red Bull and just kind of like sweating
Yeah,
by the keyboard.
it's scary because I really feel like one of two things is happening. Either they have had significant cuts to their team, or they've pulled people off their team to work on something else, whether that be something else and MCOC for the future, or be for Marvel Realm of Champions, which would be horrible if they did it for that reason. Because you're taking people from your moneymaker and putting them into something that just is never going to live up to what you want it to
Yeah, I
be.
think Marvel Realm of Champions might end up being the downfall
But
of both games.
my thought is, I think Kabam has the same number of employees as they had 3 years ago. Okay, this is my honest opinion. But since then, they've released Marvel Realm of Champions, and now they're in a smaller quantity. They have this Disney Mirrorverse, which I still play. And those two games, I think they had the same number of employees that were working on this game. Because if you look at it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were having better champions, better content, and such. And
Yeah.
now all of a sudden, we're getting back to kind of laziness and such, but I think they never added more team. Obviously, the COVID probably had some things to do with it. You may have people working remotely, but I think they divided the Marvel Contest of Champion team into 2 other teams to help with other games, and it's negatively affecting their moneymaker. Because I think they thought bringing those people in from their moneymaker into these other games would help make those games successful. In reality, all you've done is taken the resources away from the main game that's making the money, and you've made inferior products that aren't making the money. That's my honest truth. And I may be spot on or I may be
Mhm.
completely wrong.
Yeah, well,
But everything is
I
pointing
think
to
it's
that.
quite easy to say that something is going very wrong, and 2021 has taken like a very bad start in comparison.
Yeah.
And I think it's the fact that we quite immediately need an update in the diaries. We quite immediately need some sort of reassurance of the direction of the game, because it is quite saddening to say, but a lot of people are losing their life. I'm not gonna say that people leaving and stuff like that. There are people leaving every day, but this has been a time when a lot of people fall out of love with this game, and they might not necessarily leave immediately because of the community and because of the money or effort invested, but this is the road to leaving for many people. And
Yeah.
that is kind of like the general attitude to most of the people that I personally talk to in like line chats and alliances and groups like that. A lot of people just slowly but surely being more cautious how they spend the money. A lot of people taking a break. A lot of people just not caring as much about the game, because from an end game player perspective, we haven't had anything to care about in quite a long while. There hasn't been a single piece of content for end game players since Abyss. Since Abyss was the
Yeah.
last piece of content that actually forced me to use some items, and then for 2 years daily, I had to look at my items expiring to a point where I'm redoing Abyss just because why not, right?
Yeah.
So
Right. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
champions being released are not exciting right now, and yeah, even though like okay, improved Cavalier crystal rates, whatever, who cares really? Like, do you think you're gonna need a Psycho Man like to clear Act 7.2? I don't.
Yeah. I'm
Or
never
you're
going
gonna
to
use
use
Ghost
him.
Ride
I'm
that was released
sorry.
some years ago. And in general, the game is just in very
Well,
flaccid
that's what I
state.
was kind of saying. That's why you can tell by the content that's been released now and the champions we've received up until this month. It all seems lazy, copy pasted, way too much. There was no editing involved. Someone just went through a rough draft and released
I
that.
also think like because now we're clearly touching on the no end game point in the
Yes.
discussion, but I also do think that a lot of problems come from misplaced priorities. Like
Yes.
they paid so much attention to incursions, and fact of the matter is incursions don't matter in grand scheme of things.
No.
Okay, there are some people who like to play incursions, but I mean they don't matter from a standpoint where you can easily just ignore the game mode exist. There is no ultimate underlying reason to play incursions, right? It like we have Alliance War that offers plenty of 6-star shards, some catalyst fragments. We have Alliance Quest, who is the main source of our like resources. Incursions, what for? It could have an
Yeah.
identity. Kabam could potentially put in, I don't know, 6-star 6 tons in their any event, which was a perfect thing if they did it repeatedly. Then incursions would matter. Then people would rank up champions for incursions. And by the way, when I say like incursions don't matter, nobody plays at large. Obviously, there are people who do. I can't speak for everybody, but I think at large, let's say majority of the community don't particularly care for incursions. Maybe do them once a month. Definitely don't do them every 5 days. And why?
Yeah.
Because well, the rewards are not awful, but they're not also something that many people really care for and want to reach towards. 2,000 5-star shards a
Yeah.
month. Wow. Sorry, 2,000 6-star shards a month. Like, wow. Right?
Yeah.
Or like some gold and stuff
Exactly.
like that. Like, I mean, it's not bad, but there's just no incentive there. And they focus on incursions and like dungeons, then dungeons with improvement. Incursions was like this grand brand relaunch, and incursions had an update. And none of that matters. Like, why spend so much time and effort in a game mode that nobody gives a shit about? If you want to people to give a shit about, you don't need to redesign it 73 times. You need to make it worth doing. Simple.
Yeah.
You need to make incursions mean something. You need to make incursions mean towards your progression. Put the 6 stones in there. Put, I don't know, some awakening gems, some catalysts, something that people really desperately want.
Something, yeah. Yeah.
Energy refills, units.
Do
put units in milestones. See, people can do the incursions every 5 days.
Yeah.
Because then it would matter.
And there was there was somebody in chat. I know we don't usually interact with the chat, but they were saying that there's a small portion that are in-game players compared to like let's say if there was 1 million players that are playing, only 20K in-game players. I think you're estimating very low, because if there's I'd say it's easily 5 to 10% of the player base minimum that's in-game players. More likely at least 25%, if not higher, because if you look at who's complaining about the in-game content, it's about a 1 to maybe 5 ratio. So in other words, there's, for every one person complaining about in-game, there's 5 people that says there's nothing wrong with in-game because they're not in-game. That's what I'm saying. So I think a lot of time when people say it that way, it's because they're not an in-game player, but we're constantly seeing more and more in-game players come out whenever you hit Thronebreaker, whenever you explore a bit.
To kind of intercede, first of all, we need to make 2 different distinctions, because the game has been around for such a long time. There is a group of active endgame players, and there is a very, very large group of retired endgame players. People who have been up there in Masters or Top Prestige, who have done it and just chilling it easy. You'd be surprised. Out of every 10 people that I have met and interacted with, let's say on a similar level of skill and ability, I'd say about 8 of them have stepped down. Because of one reason or another. You don't want to quit the game completely, but you just don't have it in you to push actively. So there's a large group of people who might not actively play towards like the master bracket, but just are chilling because they want to take a rest. This game, being around for such a huge amount of time, has a lot of like semi-active endgame players. That's one thing, and that makes that group of people so much larger. There's a second aspect to it as well. Where people use, the endgame players are a bare minority, therefore, like, Kabam should focus on everybody else except them because they don't matter as much. But that is completely false thinking, because eventually what is endgame player today, and whatever content they release today for endgame players, eventually is going to shift. Let me put it like this way. When Labyrinth came out, Labyrinth was a brutal endgame content where like top 0.00001% dared to enter. Now, years later, Labyrinth is easy peasy and it's not considered endgame content.
KT, real quick. Wasn't there not even rank 4s back then of 5
There
stars?
was one rank 4 available when Labyrinth
There was one rank 4 available. Okay, there you go. So you see, there wasn't even, you didn't have these rank 5s.
There was one rank 4 5-star available, period. No more. If you wanted second one, you had to do Labyrinth. That's how it worked out. Because even offers didn't offer it to offer. Anyways, endgame player definition I'm going to leave to a different aspect, but let's say kind of like top TP top, the spearhead of the player base, the most capable, most bestest,
able to do content
whatever.
That as soon as it comes out 100% in.
So the first aspect is that since Kabam has stopped creating endgame content for a significant amount of time, there will be a very large gap of the kind of like next generation. And if there's nothing for endgame players today, and you might think, fuck them, because I'm not there yet, and there aren't that many of them, as the game continues to progress, you will be the player base that is affected. As you grow your account, as you carry on playing the game, even if you don't increase your input, even if you don't start grinding, whatever, just by natural law of progression, eventually people will have the account that's, let's say, size of my account. Right? Even if you don't spend money, just keep playing.
You're very true. Yeah, very true.
Obviously, I'm gonna if I keep playing actively, I'm gonna be somewhere further ahead. But you're gonna be where I am right now, and if there's no content right now that satisfies me, then eventually there's gonna be no content that satisfies you.
Yeah.
That you don't feel excited. That's the first thing. Second thing is entire gaming industry, and especially these community games, are based on the idea to strive and achieve and do better and grow and improve and be stronger, be more skilled, whatever. Progress, right? Progress. Don't stay still. No game ever plateaus. The moment it does, it
Yeah.
dies. The whole idea of
True.
these games is to reach forward. And even if they release endgame content that you can't think, like, let's say, even if you are not in a position to do Abyss yet now, eventually you will be.
Right.
And when you
Yeah.
do Abyss and when you 100% Abyss, you're gonna have nothing to strive for. You're gonna be like, what the fuck I'm supposed to do now? You might not think that now, but let's say if
Yeah.
they release no endgame content again for a long time, and eventually you get to a point where you do Abyss, where you get all the champions that you need, because that is your current goal. Kabam needs to add future goals. Kabam needs to add things to strive forward. Yes, there is a very tiny group of players who will push through it right now, but with every passing month, there is a bigger and bigger and bigger group of people who have done that and who have nothing to do. And if this game wants to be successful, they need to keep adding things to strive for. Simple as that. No what, no doubts, no whereabouts. You might think that it doesn't matter because it's only for top, 1,000 people playing this game, and there are tens and hundreds of thousands in the game. But eventually, it's going to be you who has fuck all to do if you keep playing. And the more people reach the point where you don't have really what to strive for, the more people leave the game, and the higher chance is for the game to just lose interest for most people. And here's also a thing: you can't just rely on one goal, because every type of content is not for everybody. Regardless of what's your current progression player, there are people who still haven't done Labyrinth. Why? Because they don't like the type of fights. So it can't just be Labyrinth or Abyss. It has to constantly be some other incentives. It has to constantly be some higher tight progression titles. It has to be some higher forms of short content. It has to be many different things that people see the benefit of trying. Right now, you don't really have a reason to push, the reason to try, outside of Alliance game modes, which are currently in a lot of trouble as well, especially Alliance War. But outside of Alliance game modes, you have zero reason to be better, to play better, to be more active, to have a better account.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Take my money.
Enzo Eigen is renewing his membership or becoming a new member. Thank you, Enzo. Appreciate that. But that is the problem, and that is a huge, huge crisis because, and don't get me, I understand not all content can and should and ever will be focused towards the select few towards top of the game. That's not what I'm saying at all. But the problem currently in the game is that there has been zero content released that is exciting for the top tiers. For 2 years, I believe, nearly, since Abyss came out. Even Abyss had, not everybody towards Endgame likes and loved Abyss, right? But at the very least, it posed roster, determination, and let's say wallet unit challenge. Abyss isn't perfect by any means, but it was something. Since Abyss, there hasn't been a single piece of content that has actually forced people to use items towards Endgame. Variants 5, 6, and 7. Quite easy. And I'm not saying it's a problem. You can release variants current difficulty. That's perfectly fine. Variants seemingly have a set difficulty. And whilst variant 1 and 2 were for the endgame players, they're definitely not right now anymore. And that is a-okay. There's nothing wrong with having like a set difficulty for that. Eventually, if you enjoy variants now, you're going to grow out of it.
Yeah, we've mentioned this before. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? You don't have to do it with the new ones. Do you think it would be a smart idea to go back and every time they release a new variant, they release a harder version difficulty of an older variant?
No, I don't think it would.
For in-game players.
No.
Like different nodes, maybe different champions.
I don't think the variants are answers. Like I think we're just tying ourselves to a tree that's not meant to be.
I know.
Maybe. I think
I
they
don't
just
know.
need
I'm just
to
trying.
do something
I was
else.
trying to think.
Yeah, no, it's worthwhile suggestion. I just don't think it would go down well. and way too
Yeah.
complicated. I think when it comes to endgame content, we just need to just put variants aside, accept that that is not it,
That's not
and
where it's
find
at. Yeah.
something that is. And it could be like
I
again, and it's not even about the greediness. I want the rewards. Like fuck it, put in like I don't know 1 6-star crystal in something that I spend on 20 revives on. But if I'm having fun, I'll gladly do so every month. You know what I mean?
KT, yeah, okay, I've got an idea. This is something they could do. Kind of like the Abyss and such, but instead of it making it just one long piece of content, maybe make something called Beyond the Abyss and have it have like Beyond the Abyss Chapter 1, and they release 1.1 of that. And then after a few months, they release
Yeah,
1.2.
they can
And
do
it's
no,
hard
but
as what?
I think eventually we will need next iteration of Abyss, whether it comes in that kind of form or another, doesn't matter. But
You think so?
I also don't think it would be a wise idea to put these 5 million health balls in there, because at that point a lot of it is endurance fight. Or if you're gonna
Yeah.
introduce like 3 million health balls, then at the very least there can't be all of these additional nodes where you can't use class disadvantage champion, you have a damage cap, and you have a hit cap, things like that. No, none of that. It needs to be very
Right, but
hard,
I mean
very
like
enjoyable.
what I'm trying to think of is like if they made like basically think of it this way. It's Abyss content and more bite-sized pieces. So it doesn't take up a long
Yeah,
time, but the challenge is still the same, and it's released new content for it every quarter, let's say.
yeah,
So in other
no,
words, there are chapters kind of like the Axe.
yeah.
So it's
We
not
we
as
we could
long, but
have
it's the
like
same challenge.
instead of story acts, we should have we could have, let's say, parallel
Abyss
version
Axe.
of a story content. We should have like Extreme
Yeah,
Torture
yeah.
Chamber Quest 1, Extreme Torture Chamber Quest 2, something like that. It would be cool. There are a ton of things they could do. Just like I said, one of the bigger problems in the game since its launch has always been week 3 and 4, where I personally believe we need something that's relatively short, relatively small, let's say like a celebrity challenge for every month or every other month, week 3 and 4, because week 3 and 4 are just boring, just bland.
Yeah.
Everybody's waiting for the beginning of next month because they have absolutely nothing to do. But yeah,
Very
and
true.
again, I don't want anybody listening to take away the idea that I just care for endgame players and stuff like that. No, but
No.
that's definitely not, and that's I think every group of players has to be addressed and taken care of. But I also think whatever is designed for endgame players always ends up serving double purpose, because eventually the people who can't access endgame content will, and then they will have that experience. Versus releasing
Yeah.
something that is too easy, that doesn't even interest a lot of people to try it the first time around. You know what I mean? And the second thing
Yeah.
is, whether you like to admit it or not, there has been absolutely nothing exciting for endgame players for 2 years, and it shows. It really does
Yeah.
freaking show.
Wait, has it been 2 years? I thought
Since
Abyss came
Abyss,
out
it's
last
like a
year.
year and
Oh, a year and a couple
18
months.
months,
Okay.
basically. 18 months, I think.
No, it came out in spring.
Abyss? And in that case, 2 years.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was last year though.
No. Last year was pandemic already.
No, it can't. It had to have been last year. I
Abyss
remember
of
it.
Legends.
It was like March or April of last year.
Abyss of Legends release date. January 15th.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. 2020.
okay, so it was January 15th when it came out.
Love you, KT.
Huh?
But it was still like 15 months ago. Let's
Yeah,
say
it's
that.
15. So it's not only again 15 months. Really, it's not that
Yeah.
bad. So for 15
Yeah,
months there has
but it
been
was
nothing.
just, but the way you were saying it, I was like, it could have been 2 years ago. I would have gone crazy.
Oh.
Uh,
Well, it's
yeah,
not
but
too
still,
far off.
definitely
I mean,
enough
like
time.
it's 15 months and we have nothing else announced.
15 months is still a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and we
I
have
agree.
nothing
I
else
agree.
announced. So for 15 months they had nothing.
But granted, look at how long there was between Labyrinth of Legends and Abyss. That was. I hope we don't
And
have to wait
that
as
was
long.
one
'Cause
of
that
the
was like,
biggest issues of the game.
yeah, I agree.
You would
I
think that
agree.
they had learned. They clearly haven't.
Yeah, and Thronebreaker was only released
since
last like October.
yeah, and also since Labyrinth and Abyss, we had Act 6 come out, and Act 6 was brutal. Act 6 abused us and beat us up and
Act 6 was
fulfilled
horrible.
that need
Yeah.
of glutton for
It was.
punishment and using items and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
But I don't think Abyss. I don't think that Act 6. I don't think that was the right place for it. I agree with
Yeah,
yeah, it
I know what you
definitely
mean. I don't agree that it was the right place, Act 6, but there was content like that. Whether it was right or wrong place, there was something. But now there hasn't been anything for the last 15 months. For
yeah,
15 months, every day, I have seen revives and potions expire.
yeah.
Which makes
I
you
agree.
immediately think, why the hell do I get them? Why the hell do I care for them, right?
Yeah. I agree. I think that they need to do something.
Yeah, so I definitely think that they need to implement some change. But anyways, let's move on to that. There is a clear, definite absence of endgame content, and regardless of what you think towards endgame content and endgame players, fact of the matter is, what is endgame today, in a year's time, will be available to majority of the community, and without giving things to aim, reach for, and keep the uh, people kind of like progressing and trying to get where they're not, the game will wither and die. Fact, it's
Yeah,
non-negotiable.
100%.
It will
Yeah.
happen 100%, and it is something that needs to be addressed. Whether you like it, whether you don't, that's another thing. Whether you think, fuck them, are free to play life forever, and that is the way to live. All of that flies, all of that goes, but there has to be something towards at the very top of the game. You can't plateau and do nothing. And
Yeah.
going forward, also, we can't have these 15 months breaks. We simply cannot have such long breaks without anything entertaining coming towards the top end player base.
Yeah, you just can't. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
Not in this game. Not if you want to keep the players that have been here for a long time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Jabari Panteroni. Jabroni Pantaloni.
Mhm.
So I actually should be aware whether I got Jabari Panteroni right about now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna quickly check it,
I think
restart
you
my game and stuff
I
like
was
that.
gonna say,
But
why don't you check? That'd be a good thing to check right now. Yeah.
yeah, I will. Right, because I did grind. I put up like 61 million, I think, and it was a fairly casual
Oh, you
grind.
finished with 61? Yeah, I knew you were going to go over 60. I didn't know how much you'd finish with though.
Yeah.
So 61 is a very high. I don't think you need to go that high at all. I think you're about 15 million
Well,
over if you
I
ask
don't know.
me,
We'll
but
see. But
could be wrong.
let's check if I got Jabroni in.
Let's see Jabroni.
Jabaroni.
Jabaroni.
Male. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Wooden
We can't
warrior.
see the screen, FY.
I
Just want to
know.
let you know.
I did it on
Okay,
purpose,
okay.
so I can and you
Okay.
can't.
Well, F
So
you
how
then.
do you guys think? Did I get Jabaroni
Oh,
Pantalona? Hmm?
okay, that's a stupid question. He got it.
Yeah, I did get. I was
How high?
166.
Okay, let's ask what rank do you think
Sorry,
you
I
got? I
already
guess that's
revealed
a
it.
better one.
Uh,
Oh, you
yeah.
loser.
Anyways, 166 is where I placed. 166.
Yeah.
So yeah, there we go. I got Jabroni Panther. I'll make a quick video on that. But
Jabroni
the grind was
Panther.
relatively uneventful. Like,
Are you?
hmm?
No, I forgot. You can't see other people's score. They have to send them to you to let you know. I was wondering what it went for.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna find that out in a bit.
Yeah, we'll find out in hours.
But yeah, so 60 million, 166. So she probably went for like, I don't know, 40 something.
Mm-hmm.
Which I didn't expect her
I
to go
think
for much.
48. 48 has been a cutoff lately for a lot of mid-tier champions, so probably 48 ish.
Yeah.
I know Katie Candy was going for it too. I don't know how much she put up, but she was lower than you before, so
Probably
I'm
overtook
guessing
me
she
towards
probably
the
got.
end. I think I saw her overtake me towards the end.
Oh, did she? Well, then she was. Yeah, she made a lot of ground up the last couple days.
Yeah.
Cause like, yeah, she was. She had fallen.
Yeah,
asleep
she
last
was
couple days.
161. She's 5 spots above me.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, she. Yeah, because her. What was it? Her 6 stars were gonna refresh, and she fell asleep on like Thursday
Yeah, I
night.
heard some of that. But yeah, so
So
Jabari
that
Panther,
sucks.
what are your proper impressions now that we have seen more information about her and her performing?
She feels like a 2020 champion. Same thing, like, when I say that, I mean a champion that does certain things, that has certain uses, doesn't necessarily replace anybody that I can see as of now. has a new ability that she can
She has a new
cleanse.
ability, but it still fits pretty much
It's like,
exactly in the fold of a genetic skill champion.
yeah,
She
definitely. But
literally like feels like a genetic skill champion. I do think she's gonna be
she
quite good
doesn't.
though.
Yeah, but she doesn't feel like the revamped Mole Man
Yeah,
or
she's
the
better than Nick
revamped
Fury. No, that's
Crossbones.
bullshit.
She's not better than
Yeah.
Nick Fury. No, she's gonna have some uses, but she doesn't do anything that makes her better than any other skill champion that can do it, like a Nick Fury, or shrug off debuffs like a Kingpin Crossbones and convert them into something better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
Um,
again, that cleanse mechanic is useful, can't deny that.
I think
Access
she's
to it,
gonna be
unbelievable.
annoying in war defense.
Uh, yeah, she might be. She might be with that ability. Basically, she has kind of built-in masochism, which is interesting.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
built-in mask, and she can affect your decks to fail, which is
yeah,
kind of
with level
interesting.
ones.
Which, you know what? You know what leads me to believe that we're going to see a character come out later this year, or maybe early next year, that has the potential to kind of be like a domino, where they never have decks fail.
Uh,
Like they
I
have
don't
decks,
know because
they have
already
decks.
this has immediate counters because the way she
Well,
fails your decks is because of the debuff that she plays with level 1, and we have so many
correct.
champions that guaranteed shrug them off. For instance, use
But
Mole Man and don't enter Frenzy. Use Kingpin or use
yeah,
Crossbones,
but
and you're gonna be able to.
what I think, you know how Colossus has, you don't have to have the parry mastery unlocked, but he can parry.
Yeah,
But if you do have it unlocked, he gets it. I think we're gonna have someone that doesn't
yeah, we
have to
might do.
unlock
We might do.
the Dex mastery, but
Probably
is able to
mutant class just
Dex.
to kind of like.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, I think that would be something cool. Like that's a cool character in my head already
Yeah.
that I've thought of. A character that can Dex without having to have that unlocked. That
Yeah,
gives
that
you a
would actually
taste
be
of
very, very useful because you could work around the idea of you triggering a buff on purpose, like mandatory.
correct.
So that'd
Yes.
be actually very cool. But with Jabari Panther, again, I do not think she's going to be top 5. I think she's going to be somewhere in top 10. I do not think she's going to end up being more used than Falcon or Mole Man or
Maybe the
Aegon
new
or Nick
Black
Fury.
Panther
I
will be
do
better
think
than her
that
too.
she's probably better, let's say, than Massacre and Black Widow Deadly Origins or Killmonger and things like that. Because
Possibly. Yeah.
Jabari Panther also has one thing that nobody likes to talk about, and nobody ever talks about up until it actually comes to matter to their own bottom line. And it's
Mm-hmm.
a very similar problem Hitmonkey has. Her block proficiency is quite shit, and her health wall is quite shit. So
Yeah.
just
Never
like it's
mind.
very fun to make videos about Hitmonkey and Call of Duty, and it's not as fun to run them yourself.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah.
She's
That's
quite
kind of the
squishy
same
and she
thing. Like I
has
said,
zero sustainability and regeneration or some sort of
that's
fortification
that
abilities, and she has low health pool. And on top of
that
it all, to insult the injury, she needs to parry a lot in most cases.
yeah, that's why I see her being more Alliance War defense, because she reminds me of like in regards to like her health pool, but her damage and the abilities to cleanse and stuff. Well, it's not the ability to cleanse, but just her damage and low health pool and block proficiency kind of reminds me of Wasp a little bit. And war defense, Wasp can be annoying if you don't have the right counters and such, even though
Yeah,
she
but you
has a
can
low
probably
health
just
pool.
nuke her down quickly because of the low health pool. Look, like six
Yeah, that's
star six star rank 5
yeah,
health pool here is like 49k that we can see on the screen. And
yeah.
let's see Hitmonkey's health pool, just a comparison because Hitmonkey is pathetically
I
small.
would
It's
say he's probably like
43k, so
47.
it's 6k less. But
Oh,
let's
it's
take
6K less.
something
Wow.
like Crossbones, and Crossbones' health pool was 55, so it's quite significantly bigger, and Crossbones is tanky in itself. And Crossbones does not
Crossbones
rely
is
on parrying all the time, which is another issue, because on paper, let's say Call Obsidian's block proficiency was exactly the same as Gladiator Hulk's, and it is not an issue with Gladiator Hulk, right? Well, the difference
yeah,
is Gladiator Hulk doesn't have to parry heavy 73 times a fight. Like, you can just do
yeah,
full combos and you don't need to parry as much, so.
yeah.
The good thing about her, though, is the one little thing that I did notice playing myself in Jabari Panther is that she does have one really cool synergy that actually makes her a lot more viable. And that is the synergy with Tigra and also Bloodstone, where you can also gain the Huntress charges intercepting the opponent. So you can
Yeah.
just go in for 2-3 intercepts and you don't have to parry as much. And it kind of makes for a fairly cool team because useful synergy for the rest of the champs too. But I really liked using Jabari Panther a lot more with this synergy active because then you could like push them to the wall and just do 2-hit dash back intercept, 3-hit dash back intercept, and like you can get in cheeky charges.
I can see, I can see her being fun to play like that, especially with Tigra and Elsa. Oh my God, those two are fun to play in themselves. So I could see this be a questing team, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Especially add in Quake and Nick Fury there for those guaranteed away charges, which is so amazing with Elsa, and it also gives you a lot more foolproofing on Tigra. So I'm actually quite interested.
KT, you're getting me a little too excited. I feel a tingle in my pants. Stop.
But yeah, anyways, so that is the story here in Jabari Panther. Now, do I think she is like the new Nick Fury? No. Do I think she will have a solid amount of uses? Yes. Do I think she's one of, if not the best, most realistically usable champion released this year? Yes. She's definitely not Nick Fury. That's like a tank that plows through everything.
No.
She will have more selective uses. So overall, I do think she still falls behind Falcon, because Falcon has more probably good matchups, because Falcon doesn't rely on debuffs, he doesn't rely on buffs really, and he just does his thing, you know, and it's more
we can say one thing. We can say one thing that's unique to Jabari Panther that I think you forgot to mention. She's the most effective champion when it comes to champions that have purple hair.
How many champions have purple hair?
One.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, the thing about Jabari Panther though, the thing about Jabari Panther that absolutely shocked me. Let me see if I can find it quickly.
Okay.
Jabari Panther.
But I honestly, I don't think she's a horrible champion. I think she's the best champion that's come out this year, probably as of now. I would put her up there. I would say people could argue strive for different situations. They're different champions, but I just think if you look at overall their good things, I think she's probably the best we've seen so far. I also look forward to Black Panther's rework OG, because I'm sure he's gonna have a new synergy with her, which would probably make him a little bit better.
Okay, so here's a bit of the thing that pisses me off, right? The most. It's not gonna be entirely representative of what I mean, but kind of like the idea. I don't play MROC, so I was actually unaware of it for a really long time. But so basically, in MROC, they have different skins for the champions, yeah?
Yeah, I knew that.
And this is a skin that we could have had. This is a skin that we could have had. Oh, that looks so
much better!
For
Why?
all of the champions. Literally every single champion that has come in from MROC, they literally chose the shittiest skins of every single one.
Did they really?
Sorcerer Supreme. Every other skin, she doesn't have blue skin. This is the only one.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh,
and she actually would be a proper, let's say, representative of the Indian heritage or an Indian woman of color in the contest. But they chose to make her
Indian. Now I feel stupid.
Storm Pyramid X has more good skins too, but okay, Storm Pyramid X looks quite alright. Jabari Panther, this was by far miles the worst skin, and also Silver Centurion. I don't know why, but they literally took the shittiest skins. In my personal opinion, according to me. Obviously, you are more than welcome to do your own research, but I just don't understand why they make it look like this.
This skin looks like crap. The other one that you showed kind of could be confused for the Shuri Black Panther. However, this one...
it's kind of meant to be, like...
Yeah, anyways. I know. However, this one is just... I don't like this one because I hate the mask. The mask with the open mouth bothers me.
Yeah,
if it was a closed mouth, I'd probably like it more.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's a lot that I don't like about it, but yeah, that's one of them.
But yeah, I hate this skin compared to everyone else.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I can, like, display capture. Here's the sorcerer skin that they could have went with. Yeah.
I'm waiting for it to pop up. I gotta.
And here are some other sorcerer skins that they could have went with.
Oh my god, that looks awesome.
Yeah, but they.
I didn't even know she was Indian. I thought she was an alien.
No, she's Indian.
That fucking pisses me off. It was like a female Doctor Strange, kind of.
Yep.
That would have been really awesome. Man, why did they do this? They picked some crappy champions.
Yeah, here's a Storm skin as well that looks even better, I think.
Yeah, I gotta check this out. I want to see the Storm one too.
And you can do your own research, but...
that one looks... That looks like classic Storm, but like Pyramid X. I like it.
Yeah, I like literally every other one I like better.
This is pissing me off. I can't believe that.
Yeah,
Why do they do this stuff?
I
Silver
don't know.
Centurion, you have one for him too? I'm just curious. I didn't know if you had one, but
I think it's Iron Man, Iron Legionnaire, Iron.
okay. I mean, the one for him, I didn't think it looked horrible, but if there's a better looking one, I've always wanted a black and gold Iron Man
Yeah, well, here
skin because he did that in
we
the
could have
comics for a
had
little
that.
bit.
We could have had that.
Shut up.
Well, we have black and reddish.
I'm
Okay,
sorry, that
how
came
about
out
that?
loud. Yeah. That would have been badass.
Or this one. Look
Oh,
at this
come
one. Look at this
on.
one. It could have been so good, man.
Oh, that looks like a cross between War Machine
Here is
and like
black and gold.
the.
Here's House of Iron, black and gold.
Oh,
Here's
that's like a upgraded Infinity War with a mohawk.
Yeah, and now look at this one, black and gold. You want black and gold? We could have had black
That's
and
the
gold.
one I wanted, the black and gold one. Yeah, that black and gold one looks sick.
I know, they literally put the shittiest looking skins out of them all.
Yeah.
So bad.
Oh man.
It's like I wasn't even aware because I didn't want to touch MROC with like a 6-foot pole with a shit on its end. But
Yeah.
so
black
many
and
better
gold-
skins. We literally picked the shittiest ones.
The black and gold, I actually have a statue of the black and gold Iron Man. When he was in the comics like 4 years ago or so. That one looks cool though, with a little bit of red in it too. But
This
I like
skin
just the
would have
black
been
and
good as
gold though
well.
myself.
Look at this skin, like, you know, kind of like Superior Iron Man thing with like an open face.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been bad to see an open face one either.
Yeah.
There's just so much they could have done.
I know. It
well.
baffles me sometimes. They purposely basically pick the skins that look the most different, but they also look the shittiest.
Jesus. They should have had votes for each one and saying, okay, these champions are coming. What skin would you like? And we would have picked the right one.
Ooh, I just saw a picture of okay, check this out. Oopsie. Where did it happen? No, I need next. I need next. I just triggered mouse gesture. Oh, whoops, bad. What kind of mouse? Here, this one. Open image, new tab. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Look at this. Wouldn't this be better than Jabari Panther?
Yes, that would have been so much better too. So much better. It just looks cooler. Like I said, I don't like the open mouth because it has like a jaw open mouth on the mask and then her mouth, and it's stupid.
It is.
Jeez. That's what could have been, you know?
Yeah. Here is another one. Type.
Jeez, man. They just had so many that would have been
Man, this
better.
one's so much better than Jabari Panther. This one looks
Oh, that was Queen Shuri, so that's not because the Jabari Panther isn't Shuri, right?
yeah, well, I don't know how they write them off.
I don't know anymore.
Either way. No, but it's the same skin for the same champion in that game.
Okay, I got you.
Anyways, like, yeah, that's just one of the skin of the same champion, so maybe they changed the personalities as well. But yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's move on, man. I'm quite upset with
That's all good.
my revelations that I discovered about different champion skins. Honestly, they picked the ones that I like the least for every single champion they released so far. Just
Yeah.
like literally every single one.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing, obviously, that we need to talk about is, once again, we basically got confirmation about spring cleaning. Spring cleaning event. We have been mentioning it several times because it's kind of like a mini Cyber Weekend, July the 4th, which actually, to be honest, if we compare the last Cyber Weekend to the last spring cleaning, I like spring cleaning so much better. I understand fully that it's not a event for everybody, and if you do not spend on this game, but at the very least, last year you had no proper way to benefit from this event because it was basically cash only.
Right.
But it was quite good
Yeah.
because there were like 6-star signature stones available, a ton of 6-star shards, some tier 5 CC frag crystals, some tier 5 basics, a lot of tier 5 basics. So it was very exciting.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to it?
I don't have money, but yeah, sure.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah, I get. I mean, I get it. I will not be able to buy like everything that I want as well,
I think it'll
but
be
I'm
cool. I
sure
think
you
it'll be
will be
cool to
able to get
see.
some like, I don't know, $20 something like, and still benefit from it, because that's one of the cool things about this event is because anything that you do buy, you still
Mm-hmm.
get the units on top, and
Yeah.
it just kind of like works out.
Yeah, definitely.
So
That
spring cleaning
it'll,
basically got confirmed. For those of you who missed, it hasn't been like 100% confirmed returning, but yesterday on Twitter, Marvel
uh-huh.
Console Champions account tweeted that they will be giving away Deadpool figurine 1-3 ratio giveaway, but they specifically obviously mentioned the word spring cleaning, and it's Deadpool, which is kind of like the story lore before the last year's spring cleaning, which was Deadpool's doubloons, like pirate money thing. So all indication, like, what's the best way to put it? If after this there is no spring cleaning, there will be so many people so pissed off because everybody has gotten their hopes up now.
Yep,
Right?
I hear you. I think there's gonna be. I don't know. I think it'll be if they don't do it now, it's gonna be really stupid. Um, but I think they are gonna end up doing exactly what we've been saying and what you said and everything. That they're gonna bring it back on that day and everything. So we'll see.
Yeah, it will definitely be interesting to watch out for. It should be coming at some point next week, I think.
I think. Well, didn't it say the 30th on the tweet?
Oh, I don't remember.
I thought it said the 30th. I could be wrong.
I don't think so. Can anybody remember the date? What it was for? Then that I.
Well, when I said 30th, I mean like
What do you mean? Yeah.
for the. You remember the tweet where the Deadpool cleaning? Remember you showed? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to find
Weren't
that
they
tweet.
doing like
I need to get to.
I could
I need to get
like you
to.
could win that statue or whatever?
23rd. 23rd. So that's like in 5 days.
Oh, 23rd. I was wrong. Yeah, I
Yeah.
I did a week later. I forgot it's this Friday, not next Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
gotcha.
23rd. So 23rd would correspond in 5 days from now. So it's next Friday, basically. Yes.
Yeah, I got the wrong Friday down. I wrote down the wrong Friday. I thought I wrote down the third. I thought 30th was this Friday. It's wrong.
Yeah, no,
It's
no,
two
all
Fridays.
good. But yeah, so next Friday we're gonna see what comes. This is probably the. I know it's a very stupid thing to be excited for, like an offer coming up, but overall, given how stale, how lame the game has been recently, this is the thing I personally
Mhm.
look forward to the most this year so far. There's nothing else like I have looked forward to as much to this, which is a sad state of affairs right now.
That is kind of sad, but you're right. You're right, and you're right. And when you're right, you're right.
Yeah, Fabio, I put up 61 million, I think 61.2 million, something like that, and I got 166 plays.
Mm-hmm. 166 is what you got. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I think that is about it. We have been going for nearly an hour and 10 minutes. That's about the intended length, slightly over. I hope that you guys have enjoyed today's KT time. And if you have, then, pass it along to your friends so they can have a listen to, see what they think, whether they agree or
Mm-hmm.
not. And all that other good stuff. Hit that like, hit that sub button, hit all the other buttons, and yeah, we will be
Yeah.
back with another one then next week, talking about the spring cleaning probably and all the other cool stuff. But let's say huge thank you to Mando. He has been absolutely amazing. We all love having him here, so we need to show a bit of love and appreciation to him so he doesn't decide to run away with Katie Candy. And
What?
I'm joking. But yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning stream, I'm gonna do Tier 4 Basic Arena and then Epic Difficulty Event Quest like 7 times over, because that's how many keys I will have. So hopefully we're gonna have an interesting stream tomorrow morning, and then back to grind, back to units, and the biggest thing, I
Uh,
can't believe I nearly forgot to mention this. Tomorrow,
yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Abyss of Legends Path 4 be ready, people. We're gonna go and smack some fools around. Be a
What
long
time did we
stream,
decide on?
finally. We're gonna try and aim for 3 p.m. GMT. Might end up being at 4, but we're gonna try and aim for 3.
So yeah, that okay.
Because I do expect it to be a fair bit longer than the previous path, because it is quite long and tricky path. So I don't want to end up doing it too late.
All right, I will set my alarm for you, bastard.
Well, there we go then. Alright, all that being said, you guys are absolutely freaking amazing. Love the lot of you. Do not miss a cool thing tomorrow. And after Abyss on Tuesday, I will be revisiting Variant 7 using 6-star rank 1s and rank 4, 5 stars and lower champions, basically.
Yep, he will be doing that, but the funny part is he's only going to be playing the game with his toes.
Yeah. Pretty much. I have been practicing my toe fighting.
Yeah.
Anyways, right, it's about time to finish. So huge thank you to everyone, and gonna catch you guys soon. See ya.
Later.
Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the